This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, bluff oysters are finally on the menu across the South after initial delays. The Ukrainian flag is raised in Dunedin City in solidarity with the war-torn country. And a motorsport operation backs a mental health plan for Cromwell's youth. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The first boatloads of oysters arrived at Bluff Harbour this week, destined for cafes and homes around the country. The COVID-19 Omicron variant has meant delays in getting the tasty morsels out of Southland, but that hasn't stopped Dunedin outlets from getting fresh supplies.
Presenting these southern beauties. Best Cafe owner Jess Marks is happy to have oysters back on the menu in Dunedin, with the first oysters of the season going down well with diners last night and again today.
Huge. I have regulars that come back week after week and support me right through the year, which is amazing. And then I just have those that come in especially for oysters.
As these molluscs were being loaded onto Bluff Wharf, Jess Marks was waiting in the wings on her annual pilgrimage to collect and sample this year's crop. Marks picked up 30 dozen oysters on her quick trip to Bluff and reckons they could easily sell up to 150 dozen a day if supplies were available.
I actually really enjoy going down to Bluff. I feel like I'm one of the first to go down, and I actually eat some oysters down by the sea and just enjoy the moment. Yeah, and then I bring them up and I just feel like I've been down, I've sort of seen what's been going on, and then hopefully have more oysters than I would be if I left it to the couriers.
Dawn Cassidy's been a regular customer at Best Cafe for many years, following in her father's footsteps. He first dined here in the 1950s.
Well, they're fat and juicy, yes, they rate, because they're from Bluff and straight out of the sea, really, so they do rate.
Boats will be out in Fobo Strait every day during this season through until the end of August. Diners at Best Cafe can expect to pay from $4.50 for a single oyster and $48 for a dozen, and you can have them either fresh or battered and fried. As for this year's taste, Marks ate a dozen while she was in Bluff this week and says the oysters are just as fat, juicy and delicious as always. And I can concur with either lemon or malt vinegar. A tasty treat for fans of the Southland oysters. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The government has confirmed free rapid antigen tests will be made available to the public for those who are eligible. Anyone who is symptomatic or a household contact will be able to order the rapid antigen test through a Ministry of Health website. People will then be able to collect their RAT orders from one of the 146 collection sites around the country. The online ordering system is aimed at creating a smoother process and allows one person to collect RATs for everyone in their household. The Ministry of Health is also looking at options for delivering RATs to people where appropriate. The rapid test will still be available to purchase in some pharmacies and retail stores for people who need one for travel or other reasons. The Dunedin City Council has shown its support for the people of Ukraine this afternoon. The New Zealand flag, normally flying from the Civic Centre in Dunedin's Octagon, was replaced with a distinctive blue and gold Ukrainian flag. Local resident Olga Vyashenko says she's pleased the council has recognised her homeland.
It's a really important thing because people from Ukraine say thank you for support, and they feel that they should be strong because the whole world is with them.
It's now 7 days since Russian forces began their invasion of Ukraine. The illegal dumping of demolition rubble into the Clutha River has led to a new inquiry. Last year, the Otago Regional Council received a formal warning after the dumping went ahead due to advice from its staff. A follow-up inquiry is now taking place after ORC staff refused to talk to the Environmental Protection Authority last year. Those staff will be required to be interviewed in the new inquiry, being led by retired High Court Judge Sir Graham Pankhurst. The Regional Council claims staff have so far fully cooperated with the new inquiry, passing over 6,000 pages of documentation. A Cromwell motorsport company has launched an initiative to help improve the well-being of young people in the area. Highlands Park will fund a community social worker and mental health first aid workshops for the next 5 years.
Happy to be doing good for young people in the Cromwell community. The team at Highlands Motorsport Park have partnered with local youth workers on an initiative that takes a holistic approach to supporting the mental health and well-being of young people. The Racetrack and Car Museum is a popular tourist attraction in Cromwell, and CEO Josie Spillane says the company has decided to fund both a community social worker and workshops for the next 5 years.
So we're actually going to be able to give the kids the tools from year 6 onwards to be able to understand about mental health, to be able to identify those feelings, that pit in the bottom of your stomach, and know that it's normal, it's natural, it's okay, and give them some tools of how they can talk to each other, how they can listen, and how they can take really active steps to maintain a really healthy mental health.
Highlands Park says New Zealand has one of the highest youth suicide rates in the world, and it wants to help fund the fight to address mental health challenges for young people. Cromwell Youth Trust manager Reece Smith believes the initiative will make a big difference for the community.
To support that intervention, prevention work, and it's just vital. It's going to have a huge impact.
Smith says it's often harder for young people in rural communities such as Cromwell to access help and resources for mental issues.
This initiative is so important because with our geographical location, the access to services isn't as easy as it may be in bigger cities.
The initiative is being backed by other youth workers in the region as a positive move. In Cromwell, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. It's never too early for kids to learn about science as we join preschoolers discovering the laws of physics firsthand. And a new snow and musical festival prepares to relaunch in Queenstown.
John's massive store-wide sale finishes this weekend.
The big one.
John's taken a massive 20% off store-wide with up to 80% off clearance items. This is your last chance to bag a bargain with 20 to 80% off Dunedin's biggest range of furniture and beds.
The big one.
Final weekend at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street, or online at www.mymatejohn.co.nz.
That furniture from Stafford Street and My Mate John.
We're H Concern Otago.
H Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities,
including intervals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Spark your joy with jazz, the next generation from Honda.
Hi there, guess who? You recognise the eyes? Oh, okay, it's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for this great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cut says, keep calm and carry on.
Every day the team at Gillian's supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Welcome back. A group of Dunedin preschoolers have had an early lesson in physics, testing their own water rockets. The project was part of Otago University's outreach program, with top physicists catering their lessons to a much younger audience of students.
Launch and lift off. These 2, 3, 4 and 5-year-olds from Andersons Bay Community Kindergarten have been getting an early hands-on taste of science this week. The children made water rockets out of fizzy drink bottles before launching them into the sky at the Pirates Rugby Club grounds in St Kilda. It's a much younger group compared to the students Otago University physics professor David Hutchison is used to teaching, but he's enjoying inspiring young minds.
It's just we run a pretty extensive education outreach program through the Dog Wars Centre, and today we were just launching some rockets for the Andy Bay Kindergarten, so which I'm a little bit biased by because my son goes there.
The National Centre of Research Excellence often holds educational outreach programs with Otago Museum, but it's usually with a slightly older target audience. These youngsters enjoyed their Physics 101 lesson, relishing a very hands-on approach as they created their own little spacecraft.
So they could decorate their rockets, spend some time over that, so the creative arts part of it, and then come down here and we'd put a little bit of water in them, pump them up with a bike pump with a little attachment, and then let them go, and the water gets pushed out, and so the rockets launch.
Some rockets flew further than others, while some of the junior rocketeers gave a little extra help to propel their own creations. Professor Hutchinson says children's open and wondering minds are a perfect sponge for scientific knowledge.
All children are scientists. We've just got to stop them losing that innate curiosity as they get older, and having a good experience around science reinforces that interest, I think, and so you just can't start early enough.
Kindergarten teacher Abby Johnson says the morning was a fantastic experience for the children, one that might just inspire a budding young rocket scientist or two in Dunedin, the South today.
Learning a new sport along with having a few laughs and enjoying a barbecue are all part of the Twilight Bowling series at Alexandra. Run by the local bowling club over late summer, the series is a perfect example of social bowls.
A friendly bowls competition making the most of the summer weather. The Alexandra Bowling Club's Twilight Bowls competition has been running every Monday for the past 2 months, with about 30 teams taking part in the social event. Club president and greenkeeper John Lockhead says the Twilight series is a chance for people with different age and skill levels to give lawn bowls a go.
Most of them, I'd say probably 98%, have never been on bowling greens playing like this before.
Now in its 4th year, the friendly tournament sees some players dressing up, such as the Vicious and Delicious team in their colourful tutus. And while the long summer nights have been ideal for outdoor bowls, the club is now looking at fundraising for new exterior lights.
We've got lighting towers here which had the old-fashioned lights on, but unfortunately one windy day one fell down and just about hit somebody on the head. So we took them down, but we're looking at now that new LED lights are coming on the scene, of putting some new ones up.
And Lockhead says the club has recently acquired some new blood from up north.
We've got Paul Jerome, who's come down to us from Auckland. The Alexandra Bowling Club board has put him in as manager. So he's got a lot of new ideas, and his wife will be coming down the middle of March, and she's a very good bowler. Hopefully that'll boost our ladies' chances of winning some tournaments around this area.
The summer series finishes up next Monday, replaced by Thursday night games open to casual teams and bowlers. In Alexandra, the South Today.
Organisers of a new Queenstown event which became a victim of last year's lockdown say they're determined to make it happen this year. Ski and Music Festival Snow Machine offers a blend of snow action up the mountains at Coronet Peak and the Remarkables, with live bands and DJs. A sister festival is held each year in Japan, and organisers have been working towards a Southern Hemisphere location for the event. The festival will focus on attracting visitors from Australia to come to Queenstown, with organisers partnering with New Zealand NZ Ski and local businesses to offer a complete ski trip experience. Scheduled for the end of the winter season in early September, it's estimated the 4-day event could bring in more than $10 million to the local economy. Still to come on the South Today. We catch up with a Wanaka alpine skier about to make his Paralympics debut, and we take a look at tomorrow's weather for you.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Livingwell Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
My Mate John's massive store-wide sale finishes this weekend. The big one. John's taken a massive 20% off store-wide with up to 80% off clearance items.
And my mate John. Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Welcome back. A mountain bike crash at age 16 left Wanaka man Aaron Ewan with serious spinal injuries. Determined to get back into outdoor sports, he took up downhill skiing and is set to make his Paralympics debut this month.
Finally set to compete in the Paralympics in March, Wanaka downhill sit skier Aaron Ewan is making a comeback to high adrenaline sports after a traumatic crash in 2013 robbed him of mountain biking opportunities. He bounced back from permanent spinal injuries to qualify for the Winter Paralympics 4 years ago, but then fractured a hip in training. Last November he was announced as a team member for this year's Paralympics and said it had been a frustrating wait for his hip bone to heal.
Sat on the couch for a very, very long time until it was healed.
And Ewan said it had been a long journey to get back into shape.
I've been trying to build up in the gym and on snow, but just a constant work in progress.
ACC has been pretty unreal help. They paid for all the surgery, all my rehab in the spine unit, all the doctor's fees, and then continuously help with supplies and stuff that you need in a wheelchair. I've met other people in a wheelchair that struggle financially and it affects their health because of that.
His mother, Belinda Ewan, is pleased with the support Aaron's had to continue his desire to excel in outdoor sport.
It's just really awesome news. Thank you to everybody that's been behind him all this time. He's worked really hard for this.
I was real stoked to be named for the New Zealand team and represent the Kiwis overseas and hopefully do New Zealand proud.
Another Wanaka local, Adam Hall, will be competing in his 5th Paralympics, having won 2 golds and a bronze previously. And fellow teammate Corey Peters will be competing in his 3rd Paralympics, having won a silver and a bronze on previous occasions. In Wanaka, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Bluff oysters are finally on the menu after initial delays, with fans impressed with their first taste of the season. The Ukrainian flag is raised in Dunedin City in solidarity with the war-torn country which was invaded by Russian forces last week. And Highlands Motorsport is backing a mental health program to help look after young people in Cromwell. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry. What have you got for us tomorrow?
Hi, Mel. Concerns in the transport industry about a lack of truck drivers and reduced sailing of the inter-island ferry, which is having a significant impact on getting freight to the south. So concerns there, so we have a look at that issue. Overworked Dunedin ED nurses are on the front line of the COVID response, are copping more and more abuse, and they're sick of it. So we have that story. Big news in the sporting world was a number of stories going around, but Ireland and the All Blacks have got a test scheduled for the stadium in Dunedin, so in June. So that's good news. Hopefully we'll get a few people along to watch it. So
fingers crossed. Fingers
crossed, indeed. And a special story in our Inside Out pages, property writer Kim Dungy has gone along to a Japanese-inspired hideaway on Moke Lake. So interesting story there.
Wonderful, so we'll be able to catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, fine tomorrow and Saturday with an unsettled period arriving on Sunday, then clearing briefly. There's a risk of flooding rains for some later next week as more unsettled weather is on the way. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns, everyone here can expect fine weather with light winds. A high of 22 degrees for Lumsden, Balclutha and Gore. The Catlin slightly cooler on 20 degrees with light easterlies. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes region, Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra are all in for fine weather with light winds also, and a high of 24 degrees. Similar in Te Anau but cooler at 19 degrees. Looking at what's in store for the northern towns along the coast, Timaru can expect fine weather with light easterlies and a high of 21 degrees. Oamaru is in for light northeasterlies with clear skies and a high of 20. Further inland at Tuazu and Amarama, it will be fine with light winds and a high of 25. In Dunedin, it'll be cold with clear skies tonight and an overnight low of 5 degrees. Tomorrow and Saturday, expect fine weather with high cloud. There'll be some sunny periods at times with temperatures becoming warmer and moderate northeasterlies. Tomorrow's high is 19 degrees with an overnight low of 8. Saturday's high 21 degrees with an overnight low of 13. And in Invercargill, they will have clear skies and cold temperatures tonight as well with an overnight low of 5 degrees. It's going to be fine and sunny tomorrow with high cloud and moderate northerlies developing, a high of 20 and a low of 8 degrees. Cloud will start increasing and lowering on Saturday with warm northerlies freshening. There will be some rain on Saturday night, a high of 23 and a low of 13. And that's the news this Thursday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kitea anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.